Greetings of the day, dear scholars. I am Assistant Professor Anurag Pandey, Head of the Department, Kalyan PG College, Sector 7, Bhilai. And the poetry which we are going to evaluate today is Tedhughes' The Howling of Wolves, which is going to fulfill the need of BA Part 2, Paper 2, Unit 3 of English Literature. Edward James Hughes, or Tedhughes, was born in Yorkshire in 1930, and he is considered as one of the giants of 20th century British poetry. Hughes studied archaeology, anthropology, myths and legends in Cambridge. In 1965, he met and married American poet Sylvia Plath. Tedhughes secured Poet of International Stature from the Hawk in the Rain 1975. Also, he was appointed to the Order of Merit, one of the Britain's highest honors. Tedhughes' long career included children books, translation works from classical authors, and he edited several volumes of Plath's work. Tedhughes' poetry is very much influenced by rural landscape, nature, and animals. He highlighted the darker and realistic aspect of nature. The aggression and wildness in nature became one of the dominant themes of his poetries. Hughes' love of animals was one of the catalysts in his decision to become a poet. According to London Times, Hughes once confessed that he began writing poems in adolescence when it dawned upon him that his earlier passion for hunting animals in his native Yorkshire ended either in the possession of a dead animal or at best a trapped one. He wanted to capture not just live animals but the aliveness of animals in their natural state, their wildness, their quiddity, their foxness of the fox, and the crowness of crow. However, Hughes' interest in animals was generally less naturalistic than symbolic. Courtesy poetryfoundation.org. The Howling of Wolves by Tedhughes is taken from his collection of poems entitled Vaudeville. The word vaudeville shows Hughes' interest in mythology. It has been taken from a character of medieval romance, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is the title of the work. A vaudeville is a sort of half man, half animal spirit of the forests. According to Wikipedia, vaudeville means it was a link between civilized human and the dangerous elf, like spirit of natural woodland. The Howling of Wolves, this title, is taken from a very famous proverb of William Blake. Wolves are aggressive, wild and predatory in nature, and this makes them a victim. The poet speaks about the wolves that are trapped in steel traps and they howl while they are inside these cages. Their cry gets dissolved in air and no one grants them a relief. The cry of baby is innocent, but the howling is entirely opposite. The hearing ability of wolves is very sensitive and are different from most of human beings. According to Hughes, the wolf in reality live for the sake of earth. Now we will enter in the interpretation part of the poetry. And further reference or further clarity or more detail, you can visit rokhia.com for summary and interpretations. Now the first 4 lines. The howling of wolves is without word. What are you dragging up and out on their long leashes of sound that dissolve in the mid-air silence? Now, you see, wolves have been an important and favorite creator of Tedhughes. He has created wolf watching, one more poem, and also he has used this word often for symbolic purposes also. The howling of wolves is without word. What are you dragging up and out on their long leashes of sound that dissolve in the mid-air silence? I will interpret this line. Howling means the loud cry of a wolf or a dog. And what do you mean by is without word? The howling doesn't seem of this world. And drag means to pull something with big effort. Now one more proverb you will find in this poetry, long leashes of sound. That's not a kind of phrase, I'm mistaken for that thing. A rope, chain or a long piece of leather used for holding and controlling a dog. And the term for mid-air silence means silence that can feel even in the mid-air. It can be felt in mid-air only. The poet says that howling of wolves is something that is not of this world. Wolves are being caught in traps and their long cry get dissolved, fade in the complete silence. Now the next 4 lines, 5 to 8 lines. The crying of a baby in front of forest, starving silences, brings the wolves running. Again, I will repeat. The crying of a baby in the forest of starving silences brings the wolf running. Tuning of a viola in the forest, delicate as an owl's ear, brings the wolves running, brings the steel traps clashing and slavering. As a cry of a baby breaks the silent, so does the howling of the wolves also. When wolves starve, they make a move. The crying of a baby. When wolf starts, they make a move, and hence silence is broken. In the forest of starving silences, the complete silence is broken. Like an owl, that is written in this 3rd line of this one. Tuning of a viola in the forest, delicate as an owl's ear. It means, like owls, wolves too have very sensitive ears, unlike humans. And they sing together. When we tune a kind of violin or something, we tune, they also sing together. One wolf starts singing, then other wolves also accompany them, like we tune the violin. And now these wild predators are caught in steel traps and they are tied, and now they have become slaves. The last line, clashing and slavering in steel traps. Now line 9 to 13. The steel furred to keep it from cracking in the cold. The eyes that never learn how it has come about. That they must live like this. That they must live innocence crept into minerals. Now in this specific 4 lines, they have to accept this new cruelty, that they are being trapped, they have become slave, and they cannot be freed again. Fur means you can understand the soft, thick hair that covers the bodies of animals. As it is referred as a steel fur, means that is white and shiny in color. It also protects them from extreme cold. So there can be 2 interpretations of that thing. One, because of the color, and second, this fur protects them from extreme cold. Their eyes are surprised to encounter new slavery. I will refer the 2nd line of this one. The eyes that never learn how it has come about. Now their eyes are surprised to encounter slavery. They have to accept that they are in prison now. Now coming back to that thing, the last line, that they must live, innocence crept into minerals. The wind sweeps through and he haunched wild showers. Again, I will repeat this line. I made a small mistake. The wind sweeps through and the haunched wolf shivers. It howls, you cannot say whether out of agony or joy. Hunch means a kind of sitting posture when somebody sits bending his back and shoulder forward with a round shape. Now these wolves are trapped and shivering in cold and they are howling. But it is difficult to understand whether they are howling because of joy or agony. That is obvious. Agony means pain, grief, suffering. Now the next line, 16 to 19:1. The earth is under his tongue, a dead weight of darkness, trying to see through his eyes. The wolf is living for the earth, which I have explained in the introduction also. I have explained you people in the introduction also. The wolf is living for the earth, but the wolf is small, it comprehends little. Hughes says that wolves are essential creature for nature on earth, but they don't see any hope of getting free now. A dead weight of darkness, trying to see through his eyes. Go through the second line. A dead weight of darkness, trying to see through his eyes. And sitting inside the cage, wolves are licking the earth beneath. It goes, next line, it goes to and fro, trailing in hunches and whimpering horribly. It must feed its fur. The night sees a star and the earth creaks. Whimpering means a kind of sound animal makes in the state of pain and grief. And trailing means to follow or to be pulled. And haunches means, we have discussed earlier, the back part of the body when we sit in a specific posture. Now the interpretation of these lines, wolves are moving as pendulum, they are coming to and fro, and because they have been denied sufficient food, and the earth shows sympathy with the wolves by making a creaking sound as if the stars were falling. So a kind of sympathy has been shown by Tedhughes towards the wild creature, his favorite creature, wolves. Thank you. Thank you.